Hey guys, Happy New Year. Hope everyone's doing okay. Hopefully I will be seeing you guys soon, but in the meantime, this is how we're gonna start off our e-learning with a YouTube lesson on new stock market assignment. Okay, it's gonna be very similar to the one we did before, except in this time, rather than being handwritten, it's on Google Sheets. So we're gonna continue to learn how to use Google Sheets, and obviously there's some math involved, but this is more about using that math to show you tricks on Google Sheets so I can kind of do it for you. So this is their stock market assignment, and just the instructions right here are very similar. This is just the last assignment instructions, so not much has changed, and whatever has changed I'll get to. But basically you've been given $30,000 to invest equally into 3 different stocks, so $10,000 into each stock. You're going to do your research and select 3 different stocks and keep track of the increase or decrease in each stock price over the next 4 weeks. That should actually be 5 weeks because we're doing 10 updates in total, 2 updates per week. So 2 updates in 5 per week for 5 weeks is 10 updates total. During each update, you will need to record the current stock price, the difference in stock price from the previous update, and the updated total worth of each investment. Okay, and we'll get to how that looks specifically. Hopefully you guys remember how that looks from our last assignment, but I'm obviously going to give you guys a refresher. This is what you guys wrote on before. There were 12 updates technically here because you have the 10 updates plus the start and finish. This time there's only going to be 10 total. So you're going to have 8 updates plus the start and finish for a total of 10. So I've put together the spreadsheet template that it's going to look like. You guys can obviously copy my exact format if you want. If you want to have it a little different, that's fine too. I'll leave that up to you. We went over spreadsheets a little bit with our mortgage project, but I'm just going to give you guys a quick refresher. So the basics of it is we want to fill in all these cells as we update. And if you guys remember, each individual cell you can format by color, bold, text, underline, just similar like you do in a Word document. Okay, so to fill a cell color, so you can still see the words, so I'm just going to bold that, and the text is going to be black. So right beside that, it's fill color. You can pick any color you want. I'll go orange for that. And that just kind of differentiates it from the rest of your writing. And as you guys know, I'm big on organization and making things look nice, so I encourage you guys to do the same. Also, if you guys go into, let's say you have your stock, I'm going to use Tesla as an example, so 705.67. I'm going to write that right in here. Now we need to figure out, if I have roughly $10,000, how many shares we're going to have if this is our stock price. And to do that, I'm going to go to my calculator on the right here and type 10,000. Divide that by the stock price, which is 705.67. And that gets us to 14.17, which you are going to round down to 14. So you cannot have a decimal place in number of shares. You're going to have an even number of shares. Okay, so if it was 14.67, you'd be rounding up to 15. But in this case, we're rounding down. Okay, so the stock price change is going to be nothing because this is your start. So it hasn't gone up or down because this is our starting one. The total worth is going to be the number of shares times your stock price. That's how much money you have in Tesla stock. Okay, so to figure that out, if you write equals, that all you need to do then is to write, click C2, just like in Battleship, C2, that's this, and you are going to multiply that by 14. So the multiplication symbol in Google Sheets is the star. So I'm going to write the star, and then I'm going to click on this. And then, so I have C2 times D2, hit enter, and that gives me 9,879.38. Okay. So let's say that I update on Thursday, my first update, and it's at 805.67. Okay. That means, and before I get going on that, the number of shares has to also be 14. For every single one. You're not going to reinvest. We might do something at the end of this unit where you can reinvest that money, but we'll get to that later. But a quick way to just, instead of writing 14 in each one, you can drag that all the way down, and then that'll just copy 14, so you don't have to do that going forward. Okay? Now for right here, we need to find out how much the stock changed for better or worse. And to do that, you just have to take this one and subtract this one. Okay? So I'll show you how to do that in a formula later, but just for now, let's just do, I made it a nice even number, so we know that it went up $100. Now I'm not going to put plus or minuses in there, so for what I want you guys to do instead of plus or minuses is to fill the cell green or red. Green if it's up, red if it's down. So I'm going to fill that green. Now right here, you'd think you'd have to go 14 times 805.67 to find that every single time. That is the math for that, but a quick trick to make the Google Sheet do it for you is to just click on this cell up here and go to the bottom right hand corner and drag that down, and that gives us 11,279.38. Okay? The reason why it didn't copy the same number down is because I've put a formula into this cell, which was D2 times C2. So when you drag down, you're not actually copying the number, but you're copying the formula. Okay? So let's say that I did on the following Tuesday, I did my third update. Third update in total, but this is still update number 2, if we count the start as the first update. So let's say it goes down $100 to 705.67, and I know it went down 100, but I'm going to erase that, and we're going to put in a cell right there, and I'm going to put this, the bigger number, 805.67, and I'm going to take away the smaller number, so C3, take away C4, and then hit enter, and that gives me 100. Okay? So that's how you put the formula in there. And then just because it went down, I'm going to format this as red. All right. So I'm not going to go with into the other stocks. You guys get the idea, hopefully, if you've figured this out here. So I'll just quickly finish the Tesla one, and then you guys will do the other 3 on your own. I'm not going to waste your time showing you how to do it 3 times when you can just rewind it on YouTube. So the total worth change is the last one we have to do. And I'm going to hit equals. Anytime you want a formula in your cell, you got to hit equals. And then I'm going to take the bigger number here, subtract the smaller number here. And that gets me 1,400. So my total worth went up 1,400, right? Smaller number, bigger number, so that means it went up. And I'm going to format that cell as green as well. Okay, so I want all your cells formatted. Another important thing that I had already done previous to this video is that I formatted every cell with money. Okay, so the stock price, the change, the total worth change, I formatted it as money. So to do that, if you highlight all the cells here, you can just format as currency right up here, and that will put it 2 decimal places and give you all dollar figures rather than just numbers like in this cell. So if I formatted this as currency, it would say $14.00, but I don't want that because this is the only one that's not currency. Okay, so let's just say that our total worth on the start of my other stock here, telehealth, is 10,000, and let's say the same with Zoom, 10,000. So an example of formatting as currency, that's just a number right there, but if I format it right there, it gets me the comma and the decimal, and it just looks better when you're dealing with money. So I need to figure out now, this is the one thing that's different from our previous assignment, and first of all, I'm going to center this to make it look a little nicer, and I'm going to fill these cells. Let's make that blue. I'm going to add up every single total worth individually for every update rather than just the start and the beginning. Okay, so I start right here, and I'm going to put equals, and then I need to add up all my total worth. So this was my starting total worth for Tesla, and then this was my starting total worth for telehealth, and then this is my starting total worth for Zoom, and I'm just going to hit enter. and that gives me 29,879.38. Okay, so that's how much money I have in all three stocks in this example. Okay, the next time you do that, we're going to add the total in update number 1, and so on and so on. Okay, so pretty easy. If I talk too fast, it's always possible. You guys can obviously ask me questions on Hangouts, or you can just pause and rewind the video, whatever you want to do. But this was the math portion of it. There's also going to be a literacy portion to this, and you guys have to explain to me why you're picking your 3 stocks. Okay, so if I click on my stock chart here, there's a few things that you guys can consider when you're making your choices. So you can look at the history, what it's been doing. You can look at the charts here. If you just type any company's stock into Google, you'll get it right away here. If I look at Zoom over here, and there's a couple different ways to analyze this too. If I look at the last month of Zoom, or let's do 6 months. Okay, so I just roll my cursor over here, and I can see that on October 19th, Zoom was worth $568.34. So right now, you can see it's steadily going down. Now, there's 2 ways you can look at that. You can look at that as this company is consistently going down, or you could look at it as perhaps it was overvalued before, and it's a good time to buy now that it's a lower number. That's the strategy I'm taking for this example, because as you know, the reason I'm doing this video is because we are on lockdown right now and we're not in school. So a lot of communication will be, once again, with Zoom. So I'm just taking a gamble that I think this company will do better in the next couple months. So that'd be an example of my reasoning for this. I'm looking at the charts. I'm thinking of where the world is right now, and the future of communicating and things like that, and I would write a paragraph on that for my Zoom justification. So it's kind of like persuasive writing. The other one I chose was telehealth, which was an American company. It's called CloudMD, and it's basically a way of diagnosing health issues online through the cloud rather than doing it in person in a doctor's office. And I think you guys could probably figure out why that might be a good idea in today's world. So you guys, that's the kind of way I want you guys to think when you're picking your stocks. Okay, and you can choose the stocks I picked. Preferably, if you don't choose all 3, but if you want to choose a couple of them and give me similar points to what I said, or some new points that maybe I don't know, that'd be awesome. So I wrote I'm going to go into more detail on the instructions on this, but basically I want you to write a full page that details why you picked each stock. Your full page of writing should consist of 3 paragraphs that each represent the reasons for each stock. Okay, so I'm going to have a full page of writing, 3 paragraphs, 1 for each stock, and that will be your persuasive writing that pertains to this project. That's basically it. If there's any questions, you guys can let me know on Hangouts. You can email me anytime, and of course I can video call to explain different things too, but that's it for now. And all of your instructions for both the literacy portion of this and the math and Google Sheets portions are going to be on your shared Google Doc that we have together. So after the video, just check that out, and then you can look at those in more detail. Okay, thanks guys.